I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
Terence Crawford lashes out at Canelo in a tense press conference. He stresses that his focus is always on winning in the ring, but cautions that if Canelo crosses the line or acts disrespectfully, it could get personal. Crawford's strong statements highlight his drive and focus, proving he is fully prepared for the fight both mentally and physically, and making his confidence unmistakably clear.
You a
there is stuff.
You a
see
you a you a hold talking to let Aaron
you a
because you keep talking like
you
you doing all that talking.
That's how
You doing all that talking.
You catch me,
always talking.
I come back.
You don't talk, and you talking too much.
This
You want some attention.
Some icon right here. This is gonna be legendary right here.
Female ass.
See y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight.
Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah, all right.
Greg Hackett has openly praised Terence Crawford's ability to take on Canelo Alvarez, pointing to Crawford's fearless approach both inside and outside the ring. Hackett notes that Crawford never fights with doubt or fear, which sets him apart in a division where many hesitate against a dominant star like Canelo. He emphasizes that Crawford's confidence comes from years of hard work, victories, and the ability to adapt, not from arrogance. According to Hackett, confidence is a fighter's greatest asset, and Crawford brings it to every fight. Taking on Canelo, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, demands strong mental toughness, and Hackett believes Crawford has it in full measure. He sees this matchup not as a challenge, but as another chance for Crawford to prove he excels under pressure.
Canelo,
Yeah.
they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford. They taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money going to land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. It's he got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand. He will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence. Yeah.
Adam Smith, a well-known boxing analyst, calls a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez a major challenge for Crawford, but one he can win. Smith highlights Crawford's high boxing IQ, his ability to quickly adjust to his opponent, and his skill in finding and exploiting weaknesses. Crawford's speed is another key advantage, as Canelo's defensive style can sometimes leave gaps that a smart, fast fighter could take advantage of. Smith believes the fight would likely come down to points, with Crawford's ability to outthink and outmaneuver Canelo over 12 rounds being crucial. He sees the matchup as one of the most exciting in recent years, with both fighters pushed to their limits. For Smith, Crawford winning on points isn't unlikely, It's a clear example of how boxing rewards skill, strategy, and intelligence.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember Eubank Ben? I mean, how much you spoke about?
No, I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
yeah,
but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. Yeah. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70 odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
Day Oladipo takes a more critical view of the fight, saying that while it has attracted a lot of attention, it doesn't have the same excitement as other recent high-profile matchups like Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo points out that Crawford versus Canelo lacks the same mix of competitiveness and suspense, partly because of the natural weight difference and the fact that most expect Canelo to have the edge. While Usyk versus Dubois offered contrasting styles and real unpredictability, he feels Crawford versus Canelo is less balanced. According to Oladipo, much of the hype comes more from promotion than from the actual fight dynamics.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. Like, maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances too. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have pulled out all the stops to turn Crawford versus Canelo into a global event, calling it the biggest fight of the century. They've reached beyond traditional boxing fans, generating excitement worldwide. Netflix's involvement has added even more attention, offering behind-the-scenes access, documentaries, and exclusive coverage that makes the fight feel monumental. Through interviews, press conferences, and smart marketing, the event has captured the interest of people who don't usually watch boxing. This approach mixes sports with entertainment, creating buzz that rivals some of the biggest crossover events ever.
I'm holding you to the standard you set. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein gives a straightforward take, saying that despite all the hype, this isn't the fight that boxing fans were truly hoping for. He points out that interest in Crawford versus Canelo isn't organic. Fans were more eager to see Crawford face opponents in his own division or Canelo fight challengers closer to his weight. Bernstein notes that while the matchup looks appealing on paper, it lacks the natural rivalry or compelling story that makes a fight a must-watch. He adds that even though the promotion has created a lot of buzz, core boxing fans aren't as excited as they are for other big fights. His analysis reflects a common critique. The fight feels more like a marketing creation than a response to genuine fan demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that the interesting thing is it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights. Like, there are more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans.
For sure.
Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. Looks like they've already sold 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean,
believe they'll sell it out.
Left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that we'll also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Another common view of this matchup is that while it will draw a huge audience, it isn't a fight fans were clamoring for. Many believe Canelo's size and weight give him a clear advantage, making the outcome seem predictable. The real excitement depends on whether Crawford can overcome those challenges and achieve a historic win. If he does, the fight will go down as a shocking and thrilling moment, celebrating an underdog's triumph. But if Canelo wins as expected, the bout could feel dull or inevitable. This perspective highlights the tension between hope and expectation, with fans eager for an upset, but cautious about a result that feels predetermined. The real question is whether Crawford can defy the odds and show that skill can beat size.
So many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is gonna be some memorable night of boxing other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Observers have been impressed by Terence Crawford's transformation at 175 pounds, well above his usual weight class. Photos and reports show him looking lean and muscular, with broader shoulders and a thicker neck, giving the impression of a fighter ready for someone as physically strong as Canelo. This change reassures fans that Crawford isn't entering the fight undersized. He has adapted his body to handle the challenges of a heavier division. His training shows a focus on building strength and power while keeping his speed and agility intact. Seeing Crawford bigger but still sharp has sparked optimism that he can offset Canelo's size and deliver the technical skill he's known for. This stronger, more imposing version of Crawford has reignited debates about whether size will actually decide the fight.
Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in. So I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right? You can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Alvarez's record and experience cannot be ignored. Turning professional at just 15, he has decades of fighting some of boxing's top names. Unlike many fighters who struggle with fundamentals, Canelo has one of the sharpest jabs in the sport, a rock-solid chin, and the ability to change tactics during a fight. His reputation comes from winning across multiple weight classes and consistently performing under pressure. For Crawford, taking on Canelo is the ultimate challenge. Canelo's mix of skill, toughness, and ring intelligence makes him a formidable opponent for any fighter, no matter their style.
Terence Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.